Hello, students. I welcome you all to yet another session of e-learning class through Google Meet. As we all know that we were discussing and dealing with the poem Father Returning Home from Unit 2. So, after the continuation of two lectures, today we are going to deal with the brainstorming, that is the question and answers of the given poem. Now, in the previous two lectures, I have given you a brief, detailed explanation of the poem, which is written by Dilip Chitre. The main, uh, the main motive of the poet in this poem was to deal about the generation gap, the alienation of the aged people in their own homes, the loneliness of their lives, the unwantedness of senior citizens in their own family was the main message that the poet has conveyed through this beautiful poem. The poem consists of two stanzas which has 12 lines each. The poem is written in a free verse. Now, again and again, I am repeating the same thing because it is very important for you to understand the manner in which the poet has written the poem. Because when you write appreciation of the poem, which is a very important question for your poems, so when you write appreciation of the poem, it's very important that you deal with a certain points which are given. Now, the first point that they always ask you are the sub points that they give you with the help of which you have to write the appreciation. The first point would be about the poem, about the poet, the theme, then the poetic devices which are used, then other points, specific points if you need to write, and your opinion about the poem. So let us begin with the question and answers which are given in your textbook. It's very important, students, that when you sit for your lectures or when you're listening, you have your textbooks in your hand. So now we have to come to page number 115. Okay? And from there, we are going to start with the questions. So I hope that you all are ready with your textbooks and ready to take down the notes. Okay. Now, before we begin with the brainstorming, there are a few questions that are given at the beginning of the poem, which is on page number 115. Now, the first question that they have asked us is discuss with your partner the difficulties that you face while commuting to and fro from the college by public transport. Now, when you are using a public transport, what are the difficulties that you face? Now, there are four answers that are expected that from you. So you have to write those answers correctly, and a practical answer is expected over there. Now, what problem do you find? Sometimes the buses are very crowded. You find no seat. That can be one point. Second point would be difficulty to board the bus during peak hours. Third is that maybe because you're late at home, you have to miss your bus, and maybe you have to miss some of your important lectures, right? Then now let us move on to the brainstorming, which is there on your screen. And the first question that is asked over there is that discuss with your friends the difficulties faced by the father in the poem. Now, what are the difficulties exactly that the father has faced in the poem? In the two stanzas, we have very beautifully seen the journey of the father where he travels from his work to his home. And second stanza, we see the life of father in his own homes. So, what answers that you are supposed to write then? First, in the first stanza, we see that he has to work late for late hours and he returns home in the late evening. Second, he has to stand for a longer time in his traveling. When he commutes in the train, he has to stand for long hours to reach his home. Then he has to wear wet clothes during the monsoon, and he has become weak by his age. That might be one, and second would be the muddy footwear, the cheap footwear that he's wearing. The next question. Let's move on to the next question, which is given in your screen. Discuss the character sketch of the father with the help of the given points. Now, you have to draw, the poet has already very beautifully explained the entire character of his father. The pathetic character, the pathetic condition of the father, what he is facing in his life. They have given you some points, and you have to write with the help of those points. You have to draw an outline of the character of poet's father. Now, first and very important is that when he comes home, he is not greeted by anyone in the house. Second point would be that there is no interaction between the poet's father and his children, because his children are bad tempered. And books are the only company that the poet's father has. Whenever he is at home, he contemplates and he spends most of the time reading a book. Then the unfriendly behavior of the family members towards him shows how pathetic or how disappointed life poet's father is leading. Now, as you come down on the same page, you would find out they have given below are the ideas conveyed through the poem. Match the pairs and draw out the hidden meaning from those expressions. Now, expressions and meanings are given in two columns, and you have to match them appropriately. Now, if you look at the first one, children avoid expressing themselves. Now, why do they avoid expressing themselves with their own father? What would be the answer for that? The answer to that would be because they are hostility of children. Then the second one is father was deprived of refreshing hot beverages and nourishing diet. Father was not given a proper diet and a, a diet that is required in this old age. Now, why was that? Now, what is the meaning of this expression? The meaning is the fifth point. His basic daily requirements were also not catered to. The third one, father hurries home crossing the railway line. Now, why is he hurrying? I have already taught you in detail. He is hurrying because he is in a hurry and he is eager to meet his children who are waiting at home. So similarly, you can do the entire one that is given over there. It's very simple. You just have to read it and you have to complete the match the pairs which are given there. Now let's move on to the next series of questions that are given there. Okay. Now find the lines to prove the following facts from the poem. Now the poem has certain lines and you have to explain why the poet has used these lines in the poem. The first line goes as, the father is deprived of good food. That means the father is not given good diet by his children. Now, which lines from the poem support these statements? Now, which are the lines from the poem that support these statements? Now, if you come to the second stanza of your textbook, that is on page number 116, it very well says the beginning of the second stanza. I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati. Now, these two lines support the idea that the poet's father was deprived. That means he was not given a good food. Let's move on to the second one. Children did not have a healthy relation with his father. Now, which lines from the poem support this sentence? अभी आपको उन लाइन को यहाँ पे मेंशन करना है जो पोएम में आए हुए हैं और जो इस स्टेटमेंट को सपोर्ट करते हैं. That means which are proof of this statement. Now again, let's move on to your textbook. Let's come back to the text. Is that his sullen children often refuse to share jokes and secrets with him. That means his bad tempered children now hardly share any secrets of their lives with this father. Now let's move on to the next question, the, which is there on your screen. The poet deals with the theme of man's estrangement from a man made world. Analyze it with the help of poem. Now, this is a very important question, my dear students, that it is related to the theme of the poem. That means the main motive for which the poem has been written. Now, man's estrangement, man's loneliness in his own world, the world which is created by man himself. Now, analyze the poem, go through the poem again, find out the points that I have already explained it to you in well detail. That why is this happening in today's world with man himself? Whether it is a very successful man or an unsuccessful man, today each man is engaged in this materialistic world. Now, move on to the next question. The father contemplates about his past and peeps into the future. Give reasons. Now, again, it is related to the above question. The father is contemplating. When you contemplate, when you are free, when you're sitting quiet, when you're thinking, then you start the process of deep thinking begins. Now, the poet is thinking about his forefathers and about his future grandchildren. Now he's thinking about the past from where this progress started, and with so much of progress and with so much of success, man is still lonely at this age. Entire life the man runs behind money, behind meeting the various needs of his family, his own materialistic need, and in the end, he is disappointed when he lacks the affection and love from his own loved ones. Now, let's come to the next question. The next question asks us, complete the following using suitable describing words as appeared from the screen. Now, there are some words that have been used specifically by the poet, so that you have to just match it. Now, how were the father's attire? Father's attire were soggy, that means wet. Father's tea, it was weak. His footwear, yes, it was muddy. Father's food was stale and his eyesight was dim. These are the describing words that has been used in the poem to describe poet's father. Moving on to the next question, that is A4. Paid homeward through the humid monsoon night. In the above line, the weather is humid, not the night. The epithet or adjective is transferred from weather to the night. This figure of speech is transferred epithet. Now find out such expressions from the poet. Now, this figure of speech is very important, my dear children, where the epithet is transferred from one to the other. Now, how this epithet is transferred? Now, let us read that statement again. Humid monsoon night. Now, the monsoon is humid. During monsoon, it is humid. But here, that humid is connected or is used with the night. That means the epithet is transferred. The humidity is transferred from monsoon to night. Hence, this figure of speech is transferred epithet. Okay. Another example that you have to find out from here is a few droplets cling to the graying hairs on the wrist. When you come down to the next, they have asked you to give examples of some more figures of speech, that is simile, alliteration, and onomatopoeia. We have already dealt with that in class 11, and even in this academic year, we have also explained some figures of speech. Now, I will not give you the example, but I will tell you what these figure of speech means. What do you mean by simile? A simile is a figure of speech where two things are compared using words like and as. There's a comparison done between two objects or two emotions using words like and as. That means a direct comparison is done in the word, in the figure of speech simile. Alliteration, the sound is repeated in a pleasing manner. Okay. That means the same alphabet is used in the sentence twice or thrice to produce a musical effect or for the by the poet. That is alliteration. And onomatopoeia is where the sound, the this figure of speech shows sound, where sound is produced in the poem. Okay. So now let's move on to the last page of the question and answers that we are dealing. I hope I am being slow with you, and we are discussing all the important questions here because you have to attempt these question answers in your book, my dear children. Because what is happening is that you leave some questions unattempted, due to which you are unable to write your attempt it in your exams also. You find some difficulties because you don't attempt these exercises that are given in your textbook. This is what comes in your this creates a habit for you which will be easy when you write your exams, or it gives you a clear cut idea that how answers are to be attempted. So make sure that after each lecture of English, you write down these question answers in your English notebook. Now, the first stanza or first line of the book says, I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati. Now, here stale chapati stands for non-nourishing food or diet, where the part symbolizes for the whole. Now, which figure of speech is this? You have to find out which figure of speech is this where a part symbolizes the whole. Now, this has already been done by you. That means it is a synecdoche. Okay, this figure of speech is synecdoche. Now, moving on to the next question. Write a counter view on the following topics. Now, a special video would be made on the writing skills, which will be coming in the coming series, where they will tell you how to attempt these questions, which are for more marks. Okay. Now, counter view means you are supposed to contradict the statements that are given here or the topic. You have to write points which are not supporting it, but you have to write points opposing it. Okay. So they have given you a very good topic. Every day is a father's or a mother's day. They have given you some points. With the help of each point, try to contradict, try to find out what could be opposite of that, and give a meaningful attempt to the question. Next, conduct a group discussion on the role of children towards their parents and senior citizens. Now, this question we could have done in the class, but still you can find out points that what points would come to your mind when it comes for your role. Okay, it's very easy to tell others, you do this, you do that. But when it comes to you, my dear children, what are your responsibilities towards your elders or the elders who are there in the society around you? Think and write down few good points. Then next question is write an appreciation of the poem. In the beginning of today's lecture, I told you how appreciation needs to be written. If you go back to my previous video, if you go back to the poem where we did Indian Weavers, I have given you the answer of that entire appreciation. So in the same way, you have to attempt the appreciation of this poem. Okay, it's a very important question, and you have to attempt it in a very proper, sensible manner. Don't write it haywards or in a hurried manner. Take your time, write it in detail. The answer needs to be in detail. Okay. Next one. Compose a short poem of 4 to 6 lines on your father. Now, in this year's syllabus, even in last year, you had a question of composing. Now, you have to compose 4 lines on your own. There should be rhyming words in the end of each sentence, which will give a nice effect to the poem. Write a character sketch of your family member. Now, write about any of your family member in detail. Okay, in detail. Name, age is not required, but his habits, his character, his journey, his ambitions, his struggles, all these points should be included in the character sketch. Dilip Chitre has translated Sant Tukaram's Abhang, which is the devotional poem, and he received Sahitya Academy Award. Now, this is something out of the text question where you have to go to Google, you have to browse the internet and find out some more information about the extra work that is done by Dilip Chitre. Now, list various occupations related to the services which can be rendered to senior citizen. Now, a very important question that has been asked here by the poet, that what are the things that you would do for the citizens of our society? Okay. When you live in today's society, what are the things that you would like to do for the people who are around us? What type of occupations are there which we can render to the senior citizens? So with this, we come to an end of the entire series of the poem that we had started. In the first poem, the first lecture, I gave you the brief introduction about the poem, about the poet, and we dealt the first stanza. Second video, I have given you again I gave you a brief introduction about both the poet, the poem, the theme, and we did the second stanza. And in today's, that is the last series of this lecture. Today we completed the question and answers of the syllabus of your this poem. That means one entire chapter is being completed for you from beginning to end. Okay. I hope that you understood. I hope you all are learning, staying at home, staying safe, and making the best use of the opportunity that this college is providing to keep your learning going. Okay, so that there is no hindrance in your learning, there is no obstacle in your board exams. Okay, so all the best, students. Keep on your learning.